Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om Tare Tu Re Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha.
Hello everyone. Welcome to the Lama Live live stream event with Lama Tsultrim Allione. I'm Dreame and it brings me joy every single Sunday to welcome you all, joining us from different parts of the world. To all the newcomers, a special warm greeting, and to the long-standing members of the Tara Mandala community, thank you for connecting with us today to nourish this bond. At Tara Mandala, we are committed to being a welcoming, open, and safe community for practitioners and students of all cultures, religions, genders, sexual orientations, age, ability, and circumstances. As we take our seats and settle ourselves, taking a few deep breaths, let us acknowledge the land we're sitting on as the ancestral home of indigenous people and generate a feeling of gratitude for all those who walked on and cared for this land before us. Tara Mandala Retreat Center is located on the land which was occupied by the Anasazi, ancestral Puebloan people until 1125, and then by the Ute, Diné, and Apache people who lived and hunted in the area. It's now known as Pekoza Springs, Colorado. I'm connecting from Poland, a land shaped by different tribes, including the Celts, Scythians, Germanic clans, Sarmatians, Slavs, and Balts. Let's also cultivate a heartfelt feeling of appreciation for all the many beings, near or far, seen or unseen, who make it possible for us to be here today. This includes our families and friends, our communities and natural ecosystems, as well as our fellow practitioners and teachers. May our time together today be of benefit to and relieve suffering for all beings everywhere, without one exception. It's now my honor to hand it over to Lama Tsultrim Allione. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much, Lama Tsultrim, for your time and dedication to teach us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dreamela. It's amazing how close you feel, even though you're in Poland. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of you lately. We've been having a lot of different online events, including the investiture of some teachers at different levels. And that was really amazing ceremony. You know, I've authorized some people to teach many years ago, and also many of them have been with me since the 80s. And just, it was Friday, we did a ceremony, and I invested so Dorje, my son, who's a toku of Yudra Ningpo, who was connected to Varottana because he was the prince in the kingdom where Varottana was exiled. When he was exiled from the court in Samye in central Tibet, he was sent way far away to East Tibet to this kingdom on this river called the Silver Queen. And actually, I've been there to this place. When I was, after Dave died, I went to Tibet to receive the transmission from Dodaso Wangmo of Zimbarangdrol. And It's a very remote, rocky place. So he was the prince in that court. And he met Vairochana and he studied with him when he was there. And then before Vairochana went back to central Tibet, Yudo Ningpo went and sort of paved the way for Vairochana to come out of exile and back into the court of King Trizin Detsen, where Guru Rinpoche was. And so they were all together at that time. And Yudo Ningpo became a great translator and practitioner as well. And then, of course, he's been reincarnating since then. That was the 8th century. And then in one of our last lives together, we were in Tibet. I was his mother there also. And he died at a young age. He was one of the children of Azam Drukpa, and he passed away at the age of 10, and then came back as Shuying Rangdro while Azam Drukpa was still alive, and I was still alive. And so he's been my son for several lifetimes. So he became certified as Dorje Gyaltsab of Tara Mandala. This already happened in a formal ceremony some years ago, but I gave out certificates this time. So Dorje Gyaltsab means the immutable or adamantine regent. So he's the resident at Tara Mandala now, and he's holding that space and also teaches under the auspices of Azam Pelo Rinpoche and gives empowerments and so on in that capacity. And then I invested Lopön Charlotta, who right now is on a call with Magyu, with the title of Dorje Lopön. So she joined Lopön Chandra as Dorje Lopön. There can be several Dorje Lopöns in a monastery. And so those three and me make up the Prajna Council, which is the council of lead teachers. So we meet and talk about developing programs, about the training of teachers, and all the sort of vision of the Dharma activities of Tara Mandala. So this is newly formed. It's called the Prajna Council. And then the authorized teachers, who then became senior teachers and have been teaching all of them for many years and also have been studying with me for many years. The earliest is Ellen Booth Church, who has been studying with me since 1987. And then Carla Jackson Brewer, who's been studying with me since 1988. And so those authorized teachers became Lopöns. So now we have 5 new Lopöns. And then the people have been apprentice teachers. Some of them have passed 2 exams and written their 20-page paper, which was more like a 40-page paper for them. They became a new category called Chögé. Chö means Dharma and Ge means virtue. So Dharma teachers of virtue. And so we have 5 new ones of those. So they've moved from just apprentice teacher to actually having this title. And you might think, well, why does it matter? Why do these titles matter? Well, it matters in the sense of it signifies the level of training that a teacher has and the level of experience and practice. So I'm not big on hierarchy and things like that, but I think in some cases it's good to know who is actually qualified and what their experience is. And so a title gives you that indication, just like my title of Lama tells you, oh, she's a Lama. She gives empowerments. She gives reading transmissions. She gives explanations. She gives refuge, Bodhicitta, and so on. You know what I do by that title. So if you have any questions, let me know. Where are you from, Lama? I'm from New England, in the East Coast, and I am teaching you from the area around San Diego, just north of San Diego, right on the coast of the Pacific Ocean. So I walk on the beach almost every day, and in the summer I swim in the ocean here. So anyway, that's just a little about what's been happening, and let's begin by raising Bodhicitta, the heart of enlightenment, the mind aspiring towards enlightenment for the benefit of all beings. So attune to your heart and feel that upsurge of love and compassion and longing to benefit beings. Heartfelt aspiration that we're together today for the benefit of all beings. And let's have a little meditation time now. Letting your body settle wherever you are. And actually feel your body connecting to whatever you're sitting on. Feel the place that you are. Let your awareness go down into the Mother Earth. Feel the appreciation that Dreamy was talking about before. That depth appreciation for this precious planet. And then bring your mind to an awareness of awareness. So turn your awareness, that which knows, the knowing quality, the cognizing quality, turn that toward itself and look at what is this awareness. And when you do that, when you turn the mind to look at the mind, you don't find a thing. It's not a thing. It's not an object. It's something limitless. Vast as space. vast and open. Let your mind rest in that openness. By turning mind to look at mind, you put that thinking, conceptual mind in neutral. It stops. And then you drop into relaxation, vastness, limitless awareness. And give up trying to meditate. Let go of efforting. Because when you turn the mind to look at the mind, there's an effortless presence. Stop trying. Feel also the luminosity aspect, the brilliance. We talk about enlightenment. Why? Why is it called enlightenment? Because of the light. When you enter the state, there's light. And you feel that really everything is light. All these things are light. Things that we think of as solid, our furniture, our walls of our house, trees outside, the other buildings if you're in a city. All that is particles and waves. It's all light. With our conceptual mind, we turn it into a thing, an unmoving, unchanging thing. Relax that and feel the luminosity of our world. The luminosity of our awareness, which is inseparable from our world. And the way this awareness expresses itself is in compassion. Feeling of connectedness, interconnectedness, inseparability. If you know people who are ill or having a hard time or difficult places in the world now, let that interconnectedness and aspirational bodhicitta flow to them without thinking, without a lot of concepts, presencing with them. Just rest. Thank you. And then when you stop meditating, don't stop. Let your mind remain in that vastness. It's so interesting to me that I can feel you. And I can feel when we as a group drop deeper and vaster. It happened a few times, like we were there and then deeper. Did you feel that? I'm wondering. I'm just looking, see where you are. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's beyond words, and yet it's there. It's a presence. And the group is there, even though we're not physically together. We are together. Our minds impact each other. Yeah. Deeper and lighter. Yeah. Deep connection. Oh. Deep, spacious presence. Yeah. Sometimes stronger, sometimes lighter. From Madrid, that's where my daughter Sherab is. Yeah. Wow. So today I thought I would do another one of the teachers from Odhyana. So I've been gradually going through, not necessarily in order, the origin of the Dzogchen teachings from a place called Odhyana in near Kashmir in India, but to the north and the west of Kashmir, there was a place called Odhyana, and it was known as a land of the Dakinis. And what I've been teaching from is 20 teachers who were from Odhyana and were teaching Dzogchen, and that lineage led up to the teachers that went to Tibet, or they were teachers of Tibetans who left Tibet and came out and studied with them. So really a key lineage for Tibetan Buddhism. And this is in the 8th century. So there were two different lineages. One from Garb Dorje that reached Sri Simha, and he was the teacher of Archana, who then became the teacher of Yudra Ningpo, who I was talking about, Tulku Urso was. And the Semde lineage has over 20 teachers, from Manjushri Mitra to Sri Simha, and then on to Vimala Mitra. And then there's the Longde and Menakde lineage. Those are two different lineages of Dzogchen, from which Manjushri Mitra directly reaches Sri Simha. Manjushri Mitra was one of the main disciples of Garb Dorje, who was the first human to preach, I guess you could say, or teach Dzogchen in this dimension within the Buddhist tradition. There were great Dzogchen masters in, and are, in the Bön tradition, the pre-Buddhist tradition. But Garb Dorje is known within the Buddhist tradition as the crystal child. And he started to teach as a child, and his teacher was Vajrasattva. So he received teachings directly from the Buddha, Vajrasattva, and that was the beginning of Dzogchen in this dimension. However, it's not the beginning of Dzogchen, because Dzogchen existed in 13 other solar systems before it was taught on the earth, on this earth. Isn't that amazing? 13 different solar systems this teaching was given. And so most of the teachers come from this place called Odhyana. It's considered the birthplace of Dzogchen. And it also includes the great teacher Nagarjuna. The Mahayana teacher, Nagarjuna. So this Garb Dorje was known as Vajra Preha, which means joyful Vajra, great joy, Vajra, Garb Dorje. And so there's more that I could say about the history of this. It's very interesting. Garb Dorje is the root of this in our world. And he started teaching as a child, and that's why it's called the crystal child. And at the age of 8, he defeated in debate all of the pundits of Odhyana. And Odhyana is also a really fascinating place because it's no longer on this earth, and it's debated where Oriana was exactly. It does still exist in the universe. It's now operating in other dimensions. I know this because Chögé Namkhe Norbu would go to Oriana in his dreams frequently, and he received teachings from a woman teacher who's in this list of teachers from Oriana named Kuma Devi. In fact, she's the next one in the sequence that I've been doing. And so he would have these dreams and go to these places. And there was one where he arrives at this place where everything is like crystal. And then there's a guardian at the door, and he has to say his secret name. And then he enters, and then he goes to a place where there's dancing going on a mandala. And there's male and female dancers. Both male and female have long hair, and they have flowers in their hair. And then a woman comes forward, and he says, "Where am I?" And she looks at him and laughs and says, "Don't you know?" And he says, "No." She says, "Oriana." In Tibetan, they say Urjin. That's where Guru Rinpoche came from. So we say Urjin Yoki Nuchap Song in the 7-line prayer of Guru Rinpoche, that he comes from the Western kingdom of Urjin or Odiana. And it was known as the land of the Dakinis because there were so many women teachers there. And in this list of 21 in the Semde lineage, there's 6 women in it. And 3 are called prostitutes, which is more like courtesans, independent women who owned their own land, knew different languages, and were not married, and often scholars and great practitioners. So there's 3 of them, and then 3 that are called princesses. So in some royal function in Odiana. It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating, isn't it? That there was this place, and now this place is in another dimension. And there's teachings from this place and teachers. So, yeah. So let me go to this one that I wanted to do today. Just kind of taking it in. Just so fortunate to have discovered this in this life, this genuine lineage that is so profound and deep and old. Yeah, I feel a lot of gratitude for this life that brought me to these teachings at a young age. And I've had the opportunity to study with some really amazing lineage holders of this lineage, including Tulku Sanak Rinpoche, who I just saw this past week. I did an unexpected quick trip to the Bay Area and went up to Sebastopol, where Tulku Sanak is, and he gave us the Rigpe Sawang, the empowerment, direct empowerment into Rigpa, or awareness of awareness, and the Long for the Trekcho part of Zimbarangdral, which is the next to last part of that whole cycle. And then next year he will complete it with Dorje. So it was, I hadn't seen him for a long time because of my problem with altitude. I've been able to go to his teachings in Santa Fe, and I just haven't seen him because of COVID. So, yeah. Okay, so the next one is the 8th one, and his name is Khenpo Maharaja, which means basically abbot, Khenpo, or Acharya. Acharya Maharaja, or Great King Acharya. So it's not clear whether he was an actual king or his name was just Maharaja. And he was born in Odiyana, and his father's name was Sri Raja, and his mother, her name was Chakten. And so this person, Khenpo Maharaja, became learned in a place in Odiyana called Torchok-chen, and he became learned in the 5 branches of knowledge, which is Tibetan medicine and astrology and so on. There's 5 of them. So he became very knowledgeable, and he also aspired to the deeper teachings. And so he requested the Kashmiri Khenpo Rapnang, who we talked about last week, and requested the essence of the teachings from him. The Ningpo Dun. Ningpo is essence and also heart, and Dun is the meaning. And so the first part is Khenpo Rapnang summarizing their entirety. So one of the cool things about these teachings is it's summaries. So it's like, okay, if you had to say this in 4 lines, everything you know, what would you say and how would you say it? And essentially, that's what these are. And so he begins by saying the nature of mind is enlightened from the beginning, or is Sanjay from the beginning. And so that is an amazing thing to say, because I'm just looking for the Tibetan here. Yeah, Samki Rangshan. So Sam is mind, and then Rangshan is nature. Yene, I love that word. Yene is like, yay, it's like way back. And so primordially, Yene, primordially, Sanjay. And so this means that our mind, our awareness that we were just looking at, is the Buddha. This is Sanjay. This is awakening. So the mind is Buddha. Our awareness is Buddha, is enlightened. It's already enlightened. And that's why when we can shift our awareness to our true awareness, or our awareness of awareness, it's there. And I felt you do it. I felt you. I'm not saying everybody did, but I could feel it happening. Why? How can it be so easy? Because it's already there. It's our true nature. And it's Buddha. It's Sanjay. Yeah. And then it says there's nothing else on which to meditate. So the Tibetan is Gompa Chawa Dele Yuna Me. So Gom is meditation, and Chawa is the object of meditation. And then the Yuna Me is not other than or not separable from. So what does that mean? It means that the object of meditation is not other than the nature of mind, which is Buddha, which is awake, enlightened. That's the object of meditation. So we're not meditating on the breath. We're not meditating on a deity. This is the object of meditation, or this is what we are meditating on, is the nature of mind. Semki Rangjan, that means exactly that, the nature of mind, or the nature of awareness. The object of meditation is not other than that. That's amazing. Yes, Ron just made a comment. When truth is apparent, meditation is presence, not doing. Yeah, not efforting. We don't need to effort because it's already here. It's not something that's developed. It's discovered, but it's not developed. Okay, so then, yet one cannot understand this, in quotes, object of meditation with the intellect. So, so that's saying that you can't tokpa it, which is, it's realize it. It's not just understand it. You can't realize it with the intellect. And so how do you realize it then? We'll find out. But you don't do it with the intellect. So put your intellect on a shelf somewhere, give it a vacation. You're on break, intellect. Then what's there if there's no intellect? Well, there's no more conceptual thought. There's just awareness. Kompa Jewa, Dile Yuname. It's not other than this. That's a beautiful kind of meditation, isn't it? And this is what Dzogchen is. It's a meditation that's beyond intellect. And it's our true nature. You don't even have to say true nature. You can just say it's the nature of mind. So let's feel that. Right? Yeah. And then Semni Dunle Mayeng Gompa Yin. And so it's Semni. So Semni, Sem is mind again, and Ni is itself. So mind itself, that's another way of saying nature of mind. So there's the mind, and then there's the nature of mind, the mind itself. So I said awareness of awareness. Mind knowing mind. So that's Semni Dun Le Mayeng Gumpayin. That is knowing that you're not distracted from, not being distracted from that is meditation. So what it's basically saying is there's no other meditation than that, than not being distracted from that. I love that. Not being distracted from that primordial vastness. That's meditation. Meditation isn't something other than that. There's no other object of meditation than that. Meditating means not being distracted from the nature of mind. That's what meditation is. Looking at Jane Noble's message, he's been teaching online. So when we went, he had taught that whole day, and here's somebody looking at the nature of mind. Where's it? Yeah, he'd been teaching that group from the empowerments that he gave some years ago, Santa Fe. That's ZG, my cat ZG. He's a rescue cat, and ZG means charisma, or kind of like the spirit, the energy. So that's what Khenpo Ramnang summarized for him. And then Maharaja, the Khenpo of Odhyana, perfectly understood the meaning of the profound primordial state and expressed his realization thus. So that's how these work. They ask the one before them gives their essence teaching, and then they say, okay, and this is what I understand. So it's not like he goes away for 30 years and comes back with this answer. He has it right away. And so it's more like they're expressing what they understand to each other than that they're teaching each other. Although there is a quality of them requesting the other's realization. So he says, I am Maharaja. So just stating who he is. And then he says, Sem la gom ba Gumpe Yule De. So a lot of these have these like repeated words. So this is Sem and Gum. So Sem la Gumpe, Sem is mind, and Gumpa is meditation. Sem la Gumpe, Gumpe Yule De. So he says, meditating on mind, I have transcended the object of meditation. So more like I've transcended the idea that there is an object in meditation. When we're practicing other kinds of teachings, there's an object of our meditation, right? We, like maybe our object of our meditation is Tara, or the lion-headed Dakini, or the breath, or compassion. There's lots of objects of meditation. We use an object to focus the mind, and we're engaging the intellect, we're engaging the mind in that because we're concentrating on something. But this kind of meditation is not like that. And they're distinguishing it from that. So they're saying things like the object of meditation, and then saying there isn't one, basically. So meditating on mind, or the meditation of the mind, is beyond having an object of meditation. So let's try that together. No object of meditation, just awareness of mind, not thinking mind itself, or awareness itself. That is the object, and it isn't a thing. Somebody had a question. Can you talk about how nature of mind relates to the mind stream? Yeah, I think you're talking about like the mind stream that moves from life to life. The Yid Kilu is the mind body. So we have this individual experience that's operating inside this body right now that gives us the idea that we are a separate entity. But then when you look at what is the actual nature of that separate entity, you see that its essential nature is indivisible. from all awareness. And that awareness permeates everything. No beginning, no end, unconditioned. Someone asking me how to relate to climate anxiety. That's a different subject. And when you know this, when you know what I'm talking about, deeply know it, then there's no anxiety. Right? So when that anxiety arises, look directly at it. Let's all try this. Let's generate our climate anxiety, which I think we all can relate to. And feel the anxiety. And now turn the mind to look directly at it. It's gone. Because climate anxiety is a concept. I don't mean that it's not real and it's not happening. I just mean that our worry about it is a concept. It's a bunch of thoughts that we have. And experiences, of course. And I'm not saying don't worry about climate anxiety or ignore it, but just being anxious about it isn't doing any good. Go ahead and do what you can about it, but don't get caught in the anxiety part. Liberate it. So when you look directly at it, that's called self-liberation, or it liberates itself. And then the next line, it's yeah. Semla gumpe yul ne de. And then semla tepe tongwa chingyang me. When you see the mind, when you perceive the mind, you don't perceive anything at all. Che Yang Mei. You don't see anything. It's the same thing that there's no object of meditation. You look at it, but you don't see anything whatsoever because it's not a thing. Then Tongmei, not seeing. Tong is seeing, Mei not. Tongmei Tongwa, seeing. Dini Matongwa yin. I love it. This is my favorite line. So, not seeing, tongmei, tongwa, seeing, dini, this itself, tongwa yin, is seeing. So this not seeing is seeing. The very not seeing is the seeing, because when you're not seeing an object, when you look with awareness, at awareness, you don't see anything. It's not a thing. But there's presence, there's cognizance there, right? Profound, vast, infinite awareness. But it's not a thing. So precisely perceiving this nothing to see is seeing. That's how Adriana translates it. It's so, I mean, this is just so amazing, these teachings. And then the final line is, Tongmei dun. Tongmei is not seeing. Dun meaning la maying, not distracted. Gumpayin. So not being distracted from this non-seeing is the meditation. Meditating means not being distracted from the meaning of nothing to see. What do you think, CG? So, Tara, oh, it's so good to be with you all in this profound ocean of these early Semde teachers. It's all there. It's right here. It's in these short, little, profound phrases in Tibetan. It's all there. It's all here. So amazing. So let's dedicate the merit of our not seeing, seeing the not seeing, and practice this week. Sit with this. As soon as you find yourself conceptualizing, look at that directly, and it will liberate. So let's gather the merit of our time together and feeling a deep appreciation for these ancient teachers, many of whom are still reincarnating amongst us. And offer that merit out to all beings everywhere. Thank you. Beautiful to be with you. I will be teaching this month and this coming weekend. I'm going to be teaching the Simhamukha, the lion-headed Dakini of Ayukandro, who was one of the teachers of Namkha Norbu Rinpoche, who he met when he was 14 years old and she was 100 years old. So she was that much older than him. He received very profound teachings from her. And this teaching that I'm teaching is her gongter, or her mind terma. It's her own treasure, her own revealed treasure. It has been a principal practice for me in my lifetime, thanks to Chögé Namkha Norbu Rinpoche, who gave it to me and then entrusted me with teaching it and transmitting it, which I have been doing since the 1980s. And it's quite rare that I actually teach this myself. And I'll be doing this retreat with Lopön Ellen and Lopön Charlotta. And so we'll be doing it over 2 weekends. And this coming weekend's the first one where I will teach the practice and transmit it. It's an amazing practice for removing obstacles. It's a wrathful, lion-headed, like Sekhmet in the Egyptian tradition, lion-headed Dakini practice. So that will be amazing. I haven't taught it for a long time, and it's been such an important practice for me. So I look forward to doing that. And I think she will put that link in here if you're interested in it. And yeah, see you then, or see you later today in the Magyu call, which is happening now behind the scenes in another etheric dimension, beginning on that at noon here. And yeah, we've been hanging out a lot together online. Somehow this time right now has been very dense with online teachings, and I love it. I love the feeling of you all out there. It's a palpable presence, and yeah. So meditate without meditating. Okay, everybody. Lots of love.
Thank you so very much, Lama, for your guiding wisdom for our meditation and these teachings. These are truly gifts for us. And until we meet again, be well and happy, Lama. Thank you so very much for your presence today. And thank you, everyone, for joining in to receive these teachings and continuously willing to put them into practice so that we can show up brighter and more compassionate in and for the world around us. I would like to share with you, in case you haven't heard about it yet, that Tara Mandala has the extraordinary honor to host the traditional cremation ceremony for Venerable Lama Tsultrim Rinpoche, the great and beloved master of Chögé, lineage holder of the pacification of suffering tradition, who entered into parinirvana on October 24th. The cremation ceremony for Rinpoche will take place on Wednesday, November 22nd at 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. You are welcome to come to the Tara Mandala Retreat Center in Colorado if you would like to participate in person or volunteer, or you can join it through the live stream. You need to register to receive the link, but there is no registration fee to view the live stream of the cremation ceremony. However, please do consider supporting Lama Wangdu's family and ongoing legacy if you are able to, and also making an offering to Tara Mandala to help cover the costs of the ceremony. You can also sponsor flowers or butter lamps. all information can be found at the link I'll post in the chat shortly. I'm also thrilled to announce our lineup for the beginning of 2024. Join us for a radical Bodhicitta Dharma talk with Lopön Carla Jackson Brewer, a 3-day Trauma virtual retreat with Tulku Osol Dorje for the members of the Osol Ningtik cycle, and Resting in the Eye of the Storm, a weekend retreat with Lopön Polly Ryan, when we will take a deep dive into trauma and suffering, combining wisdom from Buddhism and modern psychology and neuroscience. If you're interested, you can explore them on the Tara Mandala website. And finally, following the tradition going all the way back to the time of the Buddha 2600 years ago, you have the opportunity to make an offering of dana to Lama Tsultrim. Dana is a Pali and Sanskrit word that means generosity. Dana directly recognizes the precious gift of the teacher and the teachings without which one could not practice the Dharma. If you would like to offer dana to Lama Tsultrim, please follow the link you will see in the chat in a moment. And as we close our time together today, let's take a moment to acknowledge the generational caretakers of the land you're on, the indigenous ancestors who were here before us. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to them and others who also make it possible for us to practice here today. Our families, co-workers, community, including all beings, seen and unseen, who support our practice. And particularly our teachers, who skillfully offer us these precious teachings. May all beings, without one exception, benefit and be free from suffering. Thank you, everyone, and we hope to see you next Sunday.
Om tare tu re, Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re, Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re, Mangalam Shri Mahapani Swaha. Om tare tu re.